Did last night prove the Heat can win it all?
Did last night prove it?
That's
No. It was proven the moment they beat Milwaukee. When you beat in 5 the favorites to win the title, your ability to win the title should not be questioned.
That's fair.
And this is the fact that we are asking this question is another sign of the repeated disrespect, the little engine that could, in Brew's eyes, listen, they're gritty, they're tough,
I got mad
they've got
respect
chutzpah,
yes.
but I just don't think they can, play basketball that well.
They can shoot.
They rolled Milwaukee. We all thought they could win the title. You brought a live deer on the set to celebrate
Didn't
it.
work.
They rolled Boston.
Really bad.
A lot of folks, including Vegas, thought they could win the title. I know you didn't pick them to. They beat them in 7. They were up 3-0. I think they rolled them. They went in their building in Game 7, took their lunch money. Miami has been better than those teams, and no one would be questioning if those teams could win it. Why? They have Spo, they have playoff Jimmy, they have Heat culture, and you guys at this point have to admit it, they have the basketball gods clearly on their side. Are you guys both denying the existence of the basketball gods?
I am on record. I don't believe in the basketball
Okay.
gods.
Yeah. All right, that's fine.
He's on the record for that.
You guys don't believe in the basketball gods.
Tweet that.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on.
Coming up with something. What? You're doing like bits now?
I don't know we've had a lot of technical difficulties. I don't know what's going on.
Is this a stand-up
I'm just
routine?
telling
Let's
you.
just watch
at
your
this
stand-up
point, Brew,
routine.
Can you please actually give them the respect they've earned? Can you say, hey, guys, it's a best of 5 now, and the Heat have home court. Maybe, just maybe, they deserve to be considered one of the best teams in the NBA.
Major League. How many times do I have to say it?
No, but
I've got nothing but respect. In fact, I'm going to say this.
But you keep on saying it, so it means you never say about Giannis.
Yeah,
Well,
Like, I respect Giannis,
is a given.
and then you don't.
Giannis is a given. But look, heart, toughness, intelligence, any of the intangibles you want to throw out, the positive ones, they have got more of that than any team I've seen in recent memory. Like, I've got nothing but respect for them. And they're shooting it tremendously. For some reason, they couldn't shoot during the regular season. Now they're shooting tremendously. So, and Spoelstra is phenomenal. So I've got respect for him. But let me say this about Jimmy Butler's comment about we don't care. That's our factor. That is the benefit of being unheralded, underrated. When you've been told so many times that you stink, you're not good enough to play in this league. Go be in the G League. Like, you get to a point where you just don't care. And I'm just going to go out and play ball. And that's what they've got. These dudes don't care. When Gabe Vincent said last night after the game, we don't care what people think of it. We don't care if people respect us. I believe that. Like, they have nothing to lose, right? And so I'll give them all that. But look, can they win it? I am still 10
It just never moves
down on the Denver Nuggets. All right?
It's really
but
like 2 nubs.
I don't know where y'all think my toes gone. My toes are here. I'm 10 down on the Nuggets. Okay. All right? They're bigger. I think they're better. They got 2 of the best 3 players in the series, I believe. I think they're the better team. And they're well coached. Not as, if you want to say Spo's better, fine. But Mike Malone is a great coach. They'll be fine. I said 6, not 4. So I expected a good series. But can they win it? I mean, sure. Like I said, you're in the finals. We've seen huge upset when Detroit beat Shaq and Kobe,
which
right?
is what we talked about.
And Denver, the way they play so hard, so smart.
Miami,
Miami. They don't make many mistakes, and you saw that last night. So sure, they definitely can.
Go ahead, Wildes.
Well, I'm going to take a page out of Broussard's book because, Brew, you were always talking about defense is about heart and effort.
Yep.
And that's what we're seeing a lot with the Heat. Remember, you're like palms up, head on the swivel. You do the whole thing.
Absolutely. And they do that.
Yeah.
They saw it.
So here's the full screen on what Denver's doing. The Heat defense is pretty good, and I kind of think that defense wins championships. They're down to 106 points a game, and their possessions are now under 90. So add that with a little bit of, this is not basketball gods, this is just straight up team chemistry to the point where Van Gundy thought it was funny to make fun of this, and Mark Jackson said it gave him chills when Kevin Love misses this pass in the corner here. This ends up being I think a fictitious foul. Maybe that was.
No, that was a real foul.
That was a real one. Yeah, that's his.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Love goes, and they hug it out here.
Yeah.
This is real team chemistry that can result in a championship.
Of course it can. And guys, last night's game should be very ominous for Denver. Denver went on a 33-9 run in this game and lost. Denver, aside from the Zeller minutes, I thought Miami dominated Denver yesterday. The Zeller minutes made it look like it was because it was Miami was up, then Zeller came in. It was a disaster. The Zeller then came in again at the end of the third. It was a disaster for them. But what Miami is doing, there is no preparing for. Get a 10-point lead on Miami. Actually doesn't help much. We can show you the Heat. This is a Patrick Mahomes style stat. They have a winning record when trailing by 10. The rest of the league wins 20% of the time. What about when going into the game, the general public says you're a massive underdog? Well, the Heat are 7-3, not against the spread, outright. The rest of the league is 5-16. What about that exact type of game? We're in Denver. Jokic is playing, and we're trailing going into the fourth quarter. They were down 8 with just a 5-point lead going into the fourth quarter at home. One loss. Last night, the Heat. So if you are talking about a team that has gotten 6 points from Caleb Martin through 2 games, may or may not be getting a little burst off the bench at some point from Tyler Hero. None of us think offensively Jimmy Butler's played an A-plus game. And Miami has stolen home court. I guess my point is, at what point will we say these guys have graduated out of where they were drafted and Gabe Vincent is just a good player who's going to be a free agent this offseason and make more than $10 million a year on the market? Like you talked.
Like I said, look,
like you talked about,
and Strus.
And
Strus came out. Look, 0 for 10 game 1. He comes out and hits 4 threes. What, in the first quarter?
Yes.
3 in the first quarter.
Yes.
Those two will get paid, and I agree. Look, is either one of them? I mean, maybe they are. We don't talk of Austin Reeves in that way, right? He was undrafted.
Yes.
Well, we give him a lot of credit. So maybe these two are as good as him, or at least Vincent. But yeah, I think they've graduated out of that. It's still a fact that they were undrafted, and I think that's where they get a lot of their heart and grit from. The fact that they were undrafted, they had to work so hard. But yeah, where are you at?
I'm 9 down. I'm 9 down.
9 down.
Yeah, 9.
Okay, because you
sure? Because you all but went over to that side of the table last
had
week.
Denver since before Halloween.
Yes, that's true.
You're
Was he
brand new
wavering?
to the
Was
Denver
he not
train.
wavering?
Well, so here's the thing, Brew. I think he's wavering now. Because, Brew, you don't follow him on Twitter, but if you did, he has started to try to, gain some, kind of elbow other people off the Nuggets corner.
What?
The Nuggets
Really?
corner. You keep
Yeah.
tagging your tweets Nuggets in 5. Yeah. This happened, that happened, that happened. Nuggets in 5. Right now, Kevin Wildes, you still
Might
feel
be 6.
Yeah, see, he's wavering,
might be
Brew.
6.
He's wavering.
I don't know if they're going to win both in
Go
Miami.
over there.
he's-
Just go.
Bro, you just got
I
here.
want people that believe.
He's picked against the Nuggets in each of the last 2
You really
rounds.
believe? If you
I'm
believe,
9
welcome
down.
you.
I'm 9
Brew
down.
picked the Suns to beat the Nuggets and the Lakers.
That's
to
all
beat
right,
the
though.
Nuggets,
Now
and
I got
you're
the
saying-
Nuggets.
Now he's saying he's got him over
Joker
you.
goes for 41 and 11 rebounds. Here's my new take on that, because at first I was upset because I thought he was like showing up Ramona.
I don't think that's what he was
Yeah,
doing.
I don't think you meant that.
Now I think it was just acting poorly.
That's exactly
Like,
right.
oh my gosh, you're kidding me.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I
when that-
wouldn't do that. That's all the evidence says
That was
that's exactly
obviously
what you
their
should
game
do.
plan.
Yes.
It obviously worked. And I want to make this clear. It's not like you just press the button, make Jokic a scorer, they can't beat you. But it has downstream effects. When Michael Malone, and we'll get to later, talks about guys not hitting shots and then not focusing on defense, that's a downstream effect of because Joker's going to be locked in no matter whether he is taking no shots in the first quarter like game 1 or whether he takes a bunch of shots early on. Other guys, it's harder, most notably Michael Porter Jr., and I think maybe also KCP. When Joker is scoring and not passing, it might actually hurt the Nuggets' defense more than the offense because other guys are less connected. Their offense overall was good. But the numbers are undeniable. That when Joker has double-digit assists, this team is almost unbeatable. And, again, small sample size, but the 3 times this postseason he has scored 40-plus are 3 of their 4 losses. So if you are Miami, there are no great options. But the least bad option is turn him into a scorer, which is what they tried to do, and it worked. And I think Spo, I'm not going to give the game away here. I'm not going to say that, yep, that was our game plan, and it worked, and we'll see it again in Game 3. He's trying to act like that wasn't their game plan. It obviously was.
I don't think Spo was acting. If you really look at, they didn't guard Jokic that much differently than they did in Game 1. They didn't double him a lot in Game 1.
But they were like soft doubling. They were bringing guys over.
That's shown that they didn't double him a lot in Game 1. They didn't double him a lot in Game 2. What they did was they went big. And by you had Bam on Jokic for the most part. Obviously, there were some switches. And Kevin Love was now able to guard Aaron Gordon.
Yes.
A lot of the assists early in Game 1 were coming from Gordon getting cross-matched up on guards. And he was just bullying them down low. And he's open down low so Jokic can hit him. So that Spoelstra's, I don't think he meant to be insulting to I didn't think he was. But because if you know Spoelstra, he's not really like that kind of person. But I think he's thinking we didn't do that much differently on him from Game 1. And they went zone in the fourth quarter, which they did in Game 1, and he scored obviously a lot against that. But they went going big was a big factor. And then that allowed you what? To put Jimmy Butler on Jamal Murray.
Which was
now you didn't have the size mismatches that you had in Game 1. Bam, Love's on Gordon, and Jimmy's on Murray. So
Jimmy on Murray, I think, was the most important factor of the game, personally. But go ahead.
Here's Joker in 13 wins this postseason. 27 points, pretty good. In 4 losses, 42. And he shoots more, and he actually shoots better from everywhere. So
I also thought that in the first quarter, when they got down big, he kind of felt like, I got to get us going. Because he was the only one that had it going. The rest of the starters were 3 for 10 in the first quarter. So he started being more aggressive in scoring just to keep them afloat. So.
No, I agree with that. And in the third quarter, his scoring was obviously effective. It looked like the Heat had taken control of the game, and then the Nuggets retook control to where they actually won the quarter and extended their halftime lead from 6 to 8, I think it was. So I get that part of it. I'm just saying, when Joker scores, it doesn't feel like this team is head and shoulders better offensively than the rest of the league. When he is the fulcrum of the offense and MPJ is hitting that stand-up 3 and Jamal Murray is swaggering and Bruce Brown is got wide open by 6 feet, it feels like Jesus. Like there's no way to stop them offensively. And so I think Miami recognizes that. The gambit they're running is the moment Bam gets in foul trouble in any of these games, the game's over. I mean, I think it's on the board. Udonis Haslem gets minutes in the next game because they can't play Zeller.
That wasn't good.
You just can't. And so, like, the other guy is Big Yurt, the Yurt 7 guy who doesn't play.
They might just go small or Highsmith.
And have Highsmith guard Joker?
No.
But that's what I'm saying. Kevin Love guarding him. By the way, can I, before we end, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Did you read the newspaper this morning?
Oh, yeah. Several.
Several? Brew, you?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I did too. And I looked and I looked and I looked for this headline, and I couldn't find it. Because Brew, who says...
That was not my headline.
Brew, who says...
They obviously had to pull it.
I brought this for you if you still wanted it. You had the Brew culture. I brought the Brew. I asked for that last week.
Wind of it, and they obviously had to switch it.
Oh, okay.
I never predicted a sweep. I predicted 6.
This is your headline.
Was not me. Did I say 6 or 4?
You
My
said
pick
6.
was 6. I did think they were going to win yesterday, and I thought then people would think Is there a question mark there or an exclamation point?
Well,
it's a question
well,
mark.
there is no punctuation
I was
on the
in
subhead.
English
Nuggets
major.
halfway to their second straight sweep.
That might have been a typographical error.
No.
I'm just curious.
Question mark. I
And
can't believe y'all
I
don't
wouldn't do
understand
this
grammar.
to you, but we weren't even supposed to do
didn't want
Monday
to.
morning.
No, we didn't
headlines.
want to, in
You
fact.
were thinking about doing that ever since the game ended.
You demanded it be in the show. And so I was just, I looked for the New York Post. I looked on that monitor.
They had
which
to
doesn't
make
work
a late
anymore.
minute
I looked
switch.
everywhere for that headline, and it's just gone.
Michael Malone, turn the channel. Everyone else, LeBron to Dallas.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.